Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the first race of the second season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series powered by the WRA. For the second consecutive season, we begin our season opener right here at the Coca Cola Super Speedway. Getting ready for a fantastic race we got in store for you. All the qualifying and everything all done. We now know our 42 cars and trucks. Getting ready for this afternoon's race here today at Coca Cola. It's a 3 mile restrictor plate track, so these drivers are going to have their work cut out. And we're going to see a lot of fuel mileage in the race because if you didn't tune into our race weekend for the Winston Cup Series last weekend, or throughout the speed weeks, we saw fuel mileage play a factor where drivers had to come to pit road and make some adjustments, had to get tires because they had enough fuel to make it 42 laps. They didn't have enough tires to go that far. So I definitely bet you with this race, tomorrow's Busch race, and the Cup race on Sunday, we're going to see a lot of that here this weekend. Cheyenne Berkshire is on the pole position. She is back for a second season. She's going to run part-time in the Busch Series this season. I said last season she would go full-time in Busch, but she wants another season in the Truck Series, so that way she can go part-time in the Busch Series in Season 3. Skylar Davidson, one of the rookies. Sam Vickers, Cody Goforth in row number 2. There is the top 28 and the rest of your starting lineup for this afternoon's race here at Coca-Cola. As now, for the first time in Season 2, the trucks roll off. What a sight to see it's been. We'll make sure nobody is having any issues getting off the grid. We ran this race last season. The defending winner of this event is not in the field. She is in tomorrow's Busch Series race. That would be Olivia Jackson. The truck that she drove to the victory last season is in the field, driven by Addison Peterson. So we'll see if Addison Peterson can make the number 16 go to victory lane for a second consecutive season. A lot of times when we come to Coca-Cola Super Speedway, drivers tell me the factors that they got to do. Number one, survive this race. You'll be a happy kid on the December holiday that we just had, by the way. Number two, survive the dreaded big one. We saw in the Winston Cup Series, we had an incident in turn number 3, which caused the first yell of the race where the cars were moving around. But these are trucks, so cars and trucks are different vehicles. But if what we saw in the Winston Cup race was any indication, I bet you we might keep our eye on through these corners because they're going over 200 miles an hour. And this is the most trucks we're going to have in the field. Same with Busch and Winston Cup Series. It looks like the field's not having any issues, so that's good to go. Well, boys and girls, you better buckle your seatbelts down, pull them belts tight one more time, because I'm going to say the words of Darrell Waltrip. Here we come, boogity, boogity, boogity. Season 2 of the Craftsman Truck Series is green. On a sunny day here at Coca-Cola, we've only had one cloudy qualifying session, but everything else has been nice and sunny. And the problem with sunny conditions is these trucks are going to slide around a lot. Because remember, we just had Busch qualifying about a couple hours ago. And all those drivers that took part in the Busch qualifying had to jump on over to the Craftsman Truck Series. It's going to be something important we're going to see here this weekend. There's Skylar Davidson going right behind that Sam Vickers for his second season, now driving for Ricky Cervantes. And Cheyenne Berkshire, this is not just the first lap of the Craftsman Truck Series, the first lap of the new season. And Cheyenne Berkshire will lead the first lap of the new truck season. Everybody took the green flag, so nobody had any mechanical problems, so that's awesome for me. I don't have to worry about having to wave off the start. Now we are off and rolling. comes Skylar Davidson. That's the 59 pushing. That's Anna Steiner, the birthday bash winner back in July. As the field enters turn number 3. I know last season we started the season in March, but we are starting this very early. Give you your weather conditions here today. 77 degrees, clear skies, but keep an eye on that wind. That's blowing at 16 to 20 miles an hour. That could play havoc with these trucks. I can tell you that for certainty. Of course, we had 42 drivers here for the 42 starting positions, so that meant this series was the only series that had no go or go home qualifying. Everybody made the show. Nobody had to go home, thankfully. But next week we will have go or go home qualifying at Rockingham. We're going to have all 3 series there next week. Sam Vickers, rather, staying with Cheyenne Berkshire. There's Anna Steiner. This is the first season we have the Rookie of the Year honors up for grabs. We have 2 Steiner siblings here this weekend, Anna and Marie. Skylar Davidson, Lucci and Bianchi, who's in the 07. Of course, Addison Peterson driving the truck that gal in the 2 drove last season, S Askraov. Of course, Shyla last season got a win, wasn't high enough in points to have her win count for a playoff berth. And of course, since there is no playoffs for the truck series this season, same with Busch and Winston Cup, person with the most points wins. We're using the 2011 point system, so that will make things a bit complicated and make things a closer championship, if you know what I mean. Apologies for my NR lagging a little bit. Haven't recorded any NR races recently because as I'm recording this race, I just got my internet back on because the office did not pay our internet bill that they're supposed to, and we've been having no internet from 3:30 till we just got our internet back about a couple hours ago. So if NR gets a little bit laggy, I do apologize. Nothing I can do about it. Trinity Lee in the 81 machine, and she is currently the race leader here. Cheyenne Berkshire still leads this race. Of course, that yellow line, we're going to be talking about that all day long. At Coca-Cola Daytona Talladega, that is out of bounds. These trucks cannot go below the yellow line to advance their position. And before any of you say nice dirt, Danny, let me remind you, I'm recording this at 2 a.m. in the morning, this race, to be more specific. So please forgive me if I'm derping a lot. It's 2 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this race. On today, I go back to work. But I don't go back to work till 5, so my sleep schedule's okay. There's Lucy Granger. We'll see her tomorrow afternoon as she will go for her first full season in the Busch Series. This is one of Cody Smart's drivers. She's not running the full schedule here in the Craftsman Truck Series. That's Abigail Furling. I think this gal right here needs a breakout season. Yes, she did get a win. Wasn't high enough in points to have her win count for a spot in the playoffs. But she was outside the top 27 in points. So Abigail Furling really, really, really needs to get off to a good start this season. Remember the top 20, or what did I say? Top 30. Let me actually go back to the Discord so that way I'm not derping. Do not help me. I could look it up. Yes. Top 30 in last season's points. In the first 4 races of this season, they're locked into the show. We're only qualifying for 12 drivers to make next week's race at Rockingham. Remember, 12 drivers will have to qualify their way into Rockingham next week. Danny Johnson in the 04, replacing the now banned Jared Johnson. Of course, the two are not related, by the way. Danny Johnson, this is his first season in the Truck Series, and no surprise, the queen of restrictor plates, Abigail Furling, has taken the lead, so she becomes our second leader of this race. I believe Danny Johnson is in... Let me actually go double check that. Go back to the video. By the way, signups are still open as I'm on the trucks. I'm on the pace truck for some reason. A lot of 3-wide racing. Remember in the Winston Cup Series, they were like nearing 4 wide. So these Truck Series drivers doing a little bit better job. I was going to look up and see. I was trying to get back to Abigail Furling till it went to the pace truck for some reason. And Cheyenne Berkshire is going back to the race lead. We will have some drivers that will have to qualify on time next week. There's Ashlyn Wright. She's running all 3 races this weekend. She just qualified for the Winston Cup race. Locked into both the trucks and Busch, so she's going to have the most laps out of all those triple duty drivers. So running today's race, going to run in tomorrow afternoon's Busch race. Then she'll get to run for her first ever race in the Winston Cup Series. Going to be with her sister, believe it or not, on Sunday. So that's going to be a great, memorable day for the Wright family. Of course, Tatum Wright, who is back in her second season in the Winston Cup Series, driving the number 0 Net Zero Chevrolet for Haas Racing. Ashlyn Wright, I'm trying to remember what ride she is driving in Winston Cup. Actually, I'm going to look it up on the starting grid, because I actually saved the starting grid for that race. Ashlyn Wright's going to be starting 7th in tomorrow afternoon's Busch Series race. Let me also make sure there's some drivers. And I also want to apologize for the confusement of the Busch Series deal, which we'll talk about that tomorrow. Oh, here it is. She is driving... Ashlyn, that is. She's driving the 00 from Michael Walter Racing. She will start 10th on Sunday. So out of the Truck Series, this was, out of all 3 series as far as qualifying, this was her worst starting spot. But as we said, you can go away, thank you very much. Sorry about my stupid thing popping up in the middle of the race. Like I said, I haven't been on my laptop all day. But don't worry, I just refreshed the recording system before I started recording. And don't forget, my space will be back up and going as far as that's concerned. It's like that outside lane is really holding true. That's the 15 of Berkshire. Who's that right behind her? That's T Mauser. That truck, by the way, finished 36th in the points last season. That truck did go to victory lane last season, but like I mentioned, what Shyla Askraov wasn't high enough in points to have that win count for a playoff berth. Here comes Maisie Creighton, who barely got herself locked into the top 27 on owner points in the Quaker State Ford F Series out of King Motorsports, King Racing. Maisie Creighton used to race in I believe in the Diva Cup Series, if I recall correctly. That's Dylan Cunningham, by the way. Lucy Granger's dropped to the back, but nothing you can do. You can just she's just riding in the back. Remember, Lucy Granger will be in. I believe she's going to be in one of those. Oh, they're 4 wide. I think she's running an all-star entry. I don't know that for sure. That was nearly 4 wide. Luis Hernandez, Victoria Hughes. Oh, no, now they're 4 wide. Oh, careful, guys. Okay, now they settle it down. Boy, they got my heart racing up here. I mean, this track is wide enough to go 4 wide. The problem is the leaning, like going into the corners. Got to keep an eye on that. Danny Johnson's at the rear of the field. Remember, the Clash had 28 drivers, and we had 8 of them didn't finish the race. 6 of them were involved in the big one. As we're looking at Ruby White, who's now up to second. But with 42 trucks, it's a completely different story. And I know I'm going to get some comments and say, well, why wasn't I not in the race? Let me remind you, I recorded qualifying while the signups were still going on. So you can still sign up. The sign-up video will also be down in the description. So just an FYI. But we will have some new drivers in the Truck Series beginning next week at Rockingham, North Carolina. That is, by the way, our next race. We'll have Gorgon qualifying for the Truck Series, first one of their season. And then we'll have Pole Day qualifying. That will be by the way, at 3. Truck Series qualifying Thursday afternoon at 3. Busch Series qualifying Friday at 1, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the Craftsman Truck Series race at Rockingham. Saturday will be Winston Cup qualifying at 1, Busch race on Saturday at 3, Winston Cup race Sunday at 1. For anyone that's wondering how we do qualifying around here. That's Dylan Ebrahimian. He's going to be a triple duty driver. Running the 80 truck. Of course, he's locked into the show because that truck was in the top 27. Or no, top 30, in points. The Busch Series was a kerfuffle trying to figure out, who was locked in, who got owner points, yada, yada, yada. That was the pain in the ass. The Truck Series wasn't an issue. Same with the Winston Cup drivers. It was the Busch Series one that really confused me with all the, point changes and all that. Because remember, we had some drivers that made the playoffs in trucks moved up to the Busch Series. Same with the Busch drivers moving up to Winston Cup. Oh, no. Oh, there they go. You knew that was going to happen. Skylar Davidson to the wall. Got turned by Maisie Creighton. Looks like it was just, they're wrecking still. 3-car Mark Games upside down. Danny Johnson is involved. Mark Games on his roof. And the caution is no doubtably out. You knew that was going to happen, folks. Now let's see if these drivers will not wreck under yellow. We saw this in the Winston Cup Series last Sunday. Please do not hit the apron, guys and gals. Back here, I'm a little concerned. Let's not run into each other as Trinity Lee's on all the way on the apron below the yellow line for some reason. Unless she was trying to not run into the back of Victoria Hughes. That was a smart job by her. Don't know how much damage. Oh no, Carlos got stuck. Danny Johnson, Mark Ames looks like their days are done, but Carlos Rodriguez got stuck on the apron. Oh boy, he's going to have to teleport to pit road. Oh, the one thing Nathan Orman did not want to have with Carlos. Yeah, he's stuck. He had to teleport to pit road. And Saman Ozkin led us back to our first caution of the race. His first lap, by the way, led in the truck series of his career. We're going to stay right here to see if they're going to have to make some pit stops in this race, because we're nearing the midway point of the race, oh, by the way. And yes, they are coming to pit road. Nobody's going to gamble. Everybody is coming to pit road. Every single driver will come to pit road, including the drivers that were involved. While these drivers are making pit stops, let's jump back and look at a replay to see what happened to S Askraov and others, as we had a little big one as we're at the midway point of today's race. Well, this is what happened. As you see, 4 wide there. That's Maisie Creighton up high. That's the 66 of Anna Berger, Luis Hernandez, and Addison. Is that Addison Peterson, or is that... No, that's Skylar Davidson, sorry. Yeah, let's see where the initial contact took place. Don't know if the 66 got a bump from the 59. I think it's just the hole was closing up. Unfortunately, Skylar Davidson was the innocent victim in all that. I can't believe no more than a couple of trucks were involved. Yeah, Creighton gets shoved into the wall by Hernandez. So those two are out of the way. But how did Danny Johnson get involved? Because we saw him get collected. Watch Sam Vickers hit that apron. I talked about this last season. When you hit the apron at Coca-Cola, the truck or car is going to wiggle. And that's what happened to Mark Ames, got on that apron. We saw that, I think, last season in this race, if I recall correctly. Mark Ames hit Danny Johnson. Let's show you what we mean by that. See, when the 3 hits the apron right there, the truck wiggles, bounced off the 52. How the 52 didn't wreck, I don't know. And then the 00 just sent, that was Mohammed Zain, just sent Mark Ames upside down. And poor Danny Johnson had nowhere to go. Nothing he could have done to avoid that incident. And then upside down and covered in smoke was the Oreo Chevrolet of Mark Ames from Great Britain. It's no wonder we got away with only a 4-truck incident, which that could have been a lot worse. But Maisie Creighton, not the way it started off her year. Same with Skylar Davidson, Mark Ames, Danny Johnson. Looks like their days are sadly going to be done. And I can't believe we only got away with a 4-truck incident. So the caution's out for the first time today. Let's get to the restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, the officials brought this to my attention. Something happened to Ashlyn Wright. And she was scored in 29th. This was coming out of the pits. And then, boom, something mechanical happened on the Jelly Bean Chevrolet. Locks up the brakes, and then, the 4 had nowhere to go. And upside down goes the 02 of Ashlyn Wright. They were running 28th and 29th at the time of this crash. That was Bianchi and Steiner who got through it. And poor Dylan Cunningham, his car is all smashed up. A lot of damage, and he has gone behind the wall along with Ashlyn Wright. So that's a tough break for those 2 drivers in the process. They came in with high hopes, and they're going to have some damaged race trucks and need to recover going into next week's race at Rockingham. Now let's take you to the restart. So we're back to green. Looks like we had a couple of trucks that blown up. Dara Schmidt making her debut. The engine has let go on the Power Stroke Diesel Ford F-Series. This is what happens when I'm recording this at 2 in the morning, okay? So please forgive me. But Saman Ozkin is going to lead us back to green. Second is Zaki Panini. Dylan Ebrahimian third. Michael Brown fourth. Cheyenne Berkshire fifth. Mark Simpson making his debut as 6th. 7th is Anna Berger. Tatiana Noguera will now be 8th. 9th will be Lucy Granger. 10th is Anna Steiner after Dara Schmidt goes out of the race. We also had another engine failure right now. Drivers out after this incident. I noticed the 00 is out of the race for something. We mentioned about the 02 and the 04. We just saw that just moments ago. They're out of the race. The 7 is out of the race for some reason. That's Cody Goforth. Ruggle Dorn, by the way, had his engine let go, a piston let go. Hold up. Before we go back to green, I want to see a replay of the 7. Because I don't understand why Cody Goforth is back behind the wall. Oh, he got damage. Oh, I didn't see this. Was there another incident I didn't see? I know about the Ashlyn Wright situation. Oh, there was something else I didn't see. It was Ingrid Pollard and Cody Goforth just rammed into the Super Chief Ford F-Series for some reason. But that doesn't explain why the 00 Mohammed Zain is out of the race. Okay, so let's see about him. Oh, we had a stack up under... Okay, so this was under the yellow. Maisie Creighton didn't slow up and just speared Mohammed Zain into Anthony Ritchie. So the 26 got more damage. Okay, this is what happened with Carlos Rodriguez. Got stuck on the apron. And then Skylar Davidson ran the back of the Quaker State Ford F-Series. Okay. Now that explains everything. So that would explain why Cody Goforth is out of the race, why the 00 is out. We've already saw the replay of the 4 and the 02. Boy, that's a lot of drivers out of the race. Tough break for a number of drivers who really didn't need this. And the 33, I don't know if he's gotten caught up or not. That would be Carlos Rodriguez. He did not catch up in time. As the green flag is back in the air, there he is. He's off the pace. Or he's about to lose the draft, so he didn't get caught back up to the field. As we're just past the midway point of this race, and now everybody trying to get back up to speed. So that would explain why we had more drivers out of the race, not just the drivers that were out of the race from that first wreck. Looks like a piston let go on Dara Schmidt, so it looks like she's going to finish in 35th. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers now back behind the wall and out of the race. Carlos Rodriguez will now be 34. So we have 34 trucks in the race, 33 of them currently on the lead lap. As Michael Brown, who did make the playoffs last season, like to get his first career win, did not find victory lane. There's Tatiana Noguera in the 20 machine. As Carlos Rodriguez did get around Maisie Creighton and Skylar Davidson, but that's not for position. Of course, he's lost the draft. Ingrid Pollard's lost the draft. Anthony Ritchie has damage. Remember, Anthony Ritchie got plowed by Maisie Creighton, as well as Skylar Davidson. So there you go. But Michael Brown Carlos Rodriguez is up to speed. So Michael Brown, or Carlos Rodriguez rather, going to need to hope and pray more drivers in front of them have issues. But that is a tough break for Carlos Rodriguez, who was also coming in with high hopes. So he did not definitely need this, if you ask me. Normally, I would be going over the points, but because this is the first race of the year, I don't need to. That's a South Korean driver, Bora Park, first South Korean driver to race in this series. Ashton Ingersoll in the 64. That's Michael Brown pushing the Outback Steakhouse Chevrolet. That 13 did not find victory lane, by the way, last season. Notice the 6 is losing the draft. That is Addison Peterson. She's currently in the 30th position. It's taken on board with the number 6. She needs to not fall too far back, or she could end up losing the draft, but could avoid the big one. Because remember, we still have 29 trucks in this lead pack. Just remember, Addison Peterson's locked in the first 4 races. Remember, we're still going by last season's owner points for the Truck Series last season. When we get to race 5, we'll go by this season's owner points. As Addison Peterson's still trying to hang on to that draft. Of course, she's not running well, running in 30th, but maybe playing a strategy. Maybe making sure she doesn't want to get involved in the big one that could happen later in this race. But it's looking like she's about to lose the lead draft. But we have lap trucks we're going to deal with later in this race. Zaki Panini in the 34, the only Toyota we have in this field. Almost tried to shut the door on Michael Brown there for some reason. Yeah, and unfortunately, Addison Peterson has now lost the draft. A Berger's also in danger of losing the draft as well. All these cars are badly damaged and off the pace. And I don't know how the 24 is still up to speed after getting plowed into. That's Anthony Ricci, by the way. Of course, normally tomorrow would be qualifying for the Winston Cup Series, but because they had their qualifying last Sunday, and also want a correction, it was last Saturday we had the clash for the Cup drivers, not last Sunday. as we're really seeing a very good race here for these drivers. The question's going to be, can these drivers use these same, hang on to only one set of tires, or would they have to pit again? Because remember, in the Winston Cup Series, that's how far they went on tires. They went green the rest of the way. Will we stay green the rest of the way in this series? We're going to have to wait and see. Also, one thing we saw in the Winston Cup Series clash last Saturday is slower traffic. That really played a factor, as Carlos Rodriguez is going to get around Ingrid Pollard. Remember, Pollard has damage. She's got no rear bumper on her Super Chips F Series. And the only driver she's going to be drafting with is, looks like Anna Berger has lost the draft. The only driver that Carlos Rodriguez could draft with is Addison Peterson, who's off the pace. Anna Berger's lost the draft. And the 67 is also about to lose the draft as well. That is Sasha Bright. And remember, Sasha Bright has to qualify on time because, as I said before, just because you could get a good result does not mean you are guaranteed into the show. Because remember, we're still going by last season's points. Should like to remind you all that. And Trinity Lee would also be another driver that would have to qualify on time as well. Because remember, that 81 truck that she's driving, no owner points from last season to fall back on. So just because she's having a good run does not necessarily mean she's going to make the show next week at Rockingham. You could be 10th in the points and still fail to qualify. Keep it in mind. So, as we're coming to 10 laps to go in this race, want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, want to thank you fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Michael Brown underneath the 13, but the question is, will he have any help? The answer is looking like a no. So it looks like Bora is going to keep the lead. The only help the 46 is going to get is the 62 of Abigail Furling. Lena Ritchie in the 1. So it's going to be the top 15 in the truck series. Now we'll have that will make it into next weekend's race top 12, will make it in next week's race at Rockingham. So Quentin Moore, who did not enter, who will be in tomorrow afternoon's Busch race. By the way, he's starting on the bull tomorrow. Michael Brown looking to take the lead. Michael Brown was so consistent last season, just couldn't find victory lane. And we hope today will be the day. And traffic coming up ahead for the leaders. The only one who doesn't have damage is the 33, because they're catching the 6 really quickly. Anna Berger's lost the draft, and so has Bright. But Bright is hoping for a humongous wreck. Sasha Bright, that is. Because we only have 20. Oh, there we go. What was I talking? Oh, that's the big one. That's the big one. That's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Caution's out. That's the big one. That's what Sasha Bright, Anna Berger, Addison Peterson needed to see. That's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Second caution of the day. You knew that was going to happen with the laps winding down. Luis Hernandez has been collected in this. The big one strikes at Coca-Cola. Like I said, that's a big break for Addison Peterson, Anna Berger, and drivers that were caught up. Anna Steiner, our pole sitter, Cheyenne Berkshire. Salman Oskin looks like he got a piece of it. So did Lucy Granger, Maria Steiner. So both the Steiners got involved. Don't know if Erica Douglas got a piece of it. Might have some splitter damage on that 78 machine. Sasha Bright got through it. So laying at the back of the field was a very good idea. And Alina Ricci led us back to our second caution of the race. Ooh, we're going to have ourselves a good little shootout to finish off today's race. But let's jump back to the replay to see what happened. The big one strikes entering turn 3 inside of 10 laps of racing to go. It was going so good for so long, and it turned pretty badly. Let's see who made the first contact. I'm thinking it was the 34. Almost in reminiscence what we saw in the first caution. That was Zachy Panini. As I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, it looks like Zachy Panini, Luis Hernandez made contact. They came down into Anna Steiner. And then looks like Oskin came up into the 50 of Lucy Granger. And take those drivers into the wall. Nowhere for Shyla Askarov to go. There's Ruby White. 88 goes upside down. Looks like Trinity Lee gets into Erica Douglas. Gretchen Mueller got through it somehow. Sophia Woodward did as well. 86 got turned. Nowhere for Bianchi to go. Runs into the Speed Chevrolet. There's some damage to the 81 machine. Got some right side damage on the Home Depot Silverado. Luis Hernandez. There's Carolina that's Erica Douglas. Almost went upside down, but landed on her wheels. Thankfully, she drove away. Shyla Askarov got a piece of it. Let's see. Yeah, she got shoved. She was up in the wall. She was scrubbing the wall and just didn't have anywhere to go. Ran into the Navy F Series. Summit Oskin went for a wild ride. Oskin was running 11th. He was having a good day today. Got hit by Cheyenne Berkshire. See, he just hadn't made it and then got clipped. And he scrubbed off some speed. Thankfully, that 50 was there to cushion the blow. Victoria Hughes got involved. That's a shame for Victoria. She was having a quiet run. Then there's the follow-up wreck. Bianchi puts his nose into the wall. But man, oh man, a lot of good trucks were involved this late in the race, and that's a shame. And we're going to have some drivers more than likely out of this race. So the yellow's out for the second time today. The big one strikes here at Coca-Cola. Let's get to the restart to find out who's going to win this race here at Coca-Cola. So we're going to go back to green. We're going to have, let's see, 39, 40, 41. So we're going to have 4 laps of racing to go. Single file restart. That means next caution that comes out will end this race under the yellow flag. Here's the full field rundown. Alina Ricci is the leader. Daniel Gitirokh in second. Good run for Daniel Gitirokh. Anthony Ricci in third. How despite the damage on the back end of his Silverado he's still up to speed, I don't know. Michael Brown is fourth. T Mauser fifth. Sam Vickers sixth. Abigail Furling seventh. Dylan Ebrahimian eighth. Bora Park ninth. And 10th is Mark Simpson. Tatiana Noguera is 11th. Zachy Panini 12th. Sophia Woodward 13th, Gretchen Mueller 14th, with Ruby White 15th. Really impressed with Ruby White this weekend. Ashton Ingersoll 16th, Shyla Askraov 17th, 18th Trinity Lee, 19th is Sasha Bright, and 20th is Erica Douglas. 21st Maria Steiner, 22nd Salman Oskin, 23rd is Anna Berger with Addison Peterson 24th, 25th is Ingrid Pollard, 26th. Carlos Rodriguez is off the lead lap. He's still in 32nd. 26th, Maisie Creighton. 27th, Skylar Davidson. Cheyenne Berkshire, 28th. 29th is Anna Steiner. And of course Carlos Rodriguez, he will be in 30th. Out of the race after that incident, Luis Hernandez, T Mauser, Lucy Granger, Victoria Hughes are out of the race. They joined Dara Schmidt, or Lucien Bianchi, excuse me, that's out of the race. They joined Dara Schmidt, Rogel Dorn, Cody Goforth, Dylan Cunningham, Ashlyn Wright, the 00 of Mohammed Zain as we're back to green. Danny Johnson and Mark Games all back behind the wall and out of the race. 72's off the pace. Ruby White did not get up to speed. I wonder if she's got an engine problem. Oh no, there goes the 6. There goes the 6. Is that a caution? No, it's not. Oh dear. Skylar Davidson just got held up. So did Cheyenne Berkshire. And now everybody jockeying for position, trying to get back up to full speed. Michael Brown to the race lead alongside of, with Abigail Furling pushing him. One thing we didn't talk about at the beginning of the day that we're definitely going to be talking about this weekend, experience versus inexperience. That's definitely going to be a factor. It looked like Ruby White had, I think, a mechanical problem because she definitely didn't get going on that restart. The 6 truck spun out, but saved it. Unfortunately, she's lost the draft, so that's a tough break for the 6. So the 6 truck will not go back-to-back years, as in Peterson. So she will not go back-to-back years for the 6 truck winning this race. As Bora Park leads in her first ever truck race as we're coming to 2 laps of racing to go. Here comes Sam Vickers, a driver who we didn't know if he was going to be back for season 2. Got picked up by Ricky Cervantes. Here he is up here in the front. Don't count out the 80 of Dylan Ebrahimian. He has a chance to win this race. And Ruby White is just coming off a turn 4. I don't know if they'll catch her before this sucker is over, because we're coming to the white flag, by the way. That's a shame for Ruby White, who was having a good run today, not the finish she was going to hope for. As here we come next time by. Remember, if the leader takes the white flag, the caution comes out after the leader takes the white flag. We will race back to the checkers no matter what. We will race back no matter what happens on this lap. Here we come. White flags in the air. One more lap to go. Sponsored by Nathan Orman's Fresh Donuts. Here comes Michael Brown, the inside. And also Credit One Bank, by the way. But I had to come up with a rhyme for Nathan Orman. Michael Brown. Look into the inside. Don't count out Ashton Ingersoll. Remember, he won one of the playoff races on a restrictor plate when we were last on a plate track. He could play spoiler in this. Down the backstretch for the final time. Oh, the 08 pulled out, but does he have any help? The answer is no. Michael Brown's got help on the outside as we enter turn number 3. They're going to catch Ingrid Pollard, but it'll be too little, too late. I think he's going to hold him off, hopefully. Here comes the 13. Drag race to the line. Park. Brown. Michael Brown is going to win his first career Truck Series race at Coca-Cola to the delight of Nathan Orman. Michael Brown last season did not find victory lane, needed a win to get in the playoffs, did not do that, missed the playoffs, and he goes to victory lane for the first time in his career. Well done to that 46 team. Wonderful way to start off this race weekend with points on the line. Oh my goodness. And Michael Brown will be the points leader going into next week at Rockingham. Oh, how sweet that victory is going to be for him in the points. I bet Nathan Orman's saying to himself, it's about time Michael Brown went to victory lane. You know what? I can't disagree with you on that. Bora Park is going to get second. Good job for the rookie driver, the South Korean driver. Mark Simpson, a driver we didn't expect to finish really well. He'll come home in third. Good run for him. Good run for Gretchen Muller, the German driver, in fourth. Ashton Ingersoll, fifth. D Gitirokh, sixth. Saki Panini, seventh. E Ricci, eighth. T Noguera, ninth. Sophia Woodward complete the top 10. Great run for the OKC native. Really a good run. I bet she'll be very delighted. And same with her team owner, Angel Diaz. I bet you he'll be delighted as far as that is concerned. This race really played a part in this. Top 15 as far as the main pack is concerned was Anthony Ricci, Sam Vickers, Dylan Ebrahimian, T Mauser, and Abigail Furling were your top 15. This race was an attrition-filled race we had here today. Look on down to the rest of the finishing results. Shyla Askraov, 19th. Well, at least that's a good start for her instead of finishing like way down the order. Some of these drivers were held up by the 72 of Ruby White, who, by the way, was the last truck to finish on the lead lap. As you look through the rest of the finishing results, find out where you or your driver ended up. We had 30 drivers that finished the race, 27 of them on the lead lap. That's a tough break for Carlos Rodriguez. If he didn't get stuck on the apron like he did on that first caution, he could have had possibly a top 20 run, but tough break for him. But the good news for Carlos, it's okay. This is only race 1 of 25 we have in the championship. I just tell him, shake it off. You got Rockingham next week. You're locked in this show. You just need to shake it off and just get ready for the next race. Same with the other drivers who didn't have good results. 12 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race due to the incidents and our 2 cautions we had in this race. Luis Hernandez, Lucia Bianchi, Lucy Granger. What a shame for her. Victoria Hughes came in with high hopes of backing up what was a good first season for her last season. Dara Schmidt, tough break for her in her debut. Had piston failure. Same with Rogel Dorn. They were two out of the 12 drivers that did not have damage. Everybody else did have damage. Cody Goforth, Dylan Cunningham. There's going to be a lot of explaining why Cody Goforth ran into the back of the 99 of Ingrid Poller, who, by the way, finished in 26. Dylan Cunningham, Ashlyn Wright. That was a very weird accident with Ashlyn Wright. Mohammed Zain, Danny Johnson, Mark Games, all due to the incident under the first caution of the race. They will finish in the 41st and 42nd position. But what a way to start off the season. Michael Brown going to victory lane. Also, I'm going to make a little side note just to make sure this track gets, or the replay doesn't act like a derping hyena. I'm going to go ahead and save the replay. But there we go. That's going to do it here from the amazing Coca-Cola Super Speedway for the Truck Series. Congratulations to Michael Brown on the win. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from beautiful Coca-Cola. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finisher results. Your point standings will be the exact same as your results heading into next week at Rockingham, North Carolina. We got to finish up this race weekend with Coca-Cola for Busch and Winston Cup for their points paying events before we head to Rockingham Speedway. Until then, I'm D Ebrahimian. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Congratulations once again to Michael Brown. Coming up next, we rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. We will talk to you all tomorrow. You've been watching the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.